Hello everyone, we are group number 3 of English class 3 and today we are going to talk about hunger, food, water and shelter in Honduras. Let's start.
Hello, my name is Ana Lucia Mejia. My teacher name is Jose Trochas and my section is 8 a.m. and today's date is April 27th. And I am going to talk about a global hunger crisis. What causes hunger? Hunger is caused by inequality because in some places the power decide who eats and who goes hungry. Is also caused by climate changes because the climate crisis is driving to hunger and malnutrition. It's also caused by conflict because 75% of the world malnourished people lives in conflict zones. Is also caused by disaster and emergencies because humanitarian emergencies destroy livelihoods that are important for millions of people. It is also caused by poverty because extreme poverty and hunger are linked. Hunger affects an overwhelming majority of world's hungry people reside in the developing world, where extreme poverty and lack access to nutritious food leads to malnutrition. Women and children are particularly vulnerable. As important facts of hunger, we have that it affects nearly 10% of the people globally. From 2018 to 2022, the number of people affected by this grew by as many 150 million. Also, is a crisis driven largely by the COVID-19 pandemic and the war between Russia and Ukraine. 14 million children suffer from severe acute malnutrition. 45% of the child deaths worldwide are due to hunger and related causes. 700 children die each day from illness caused by dirty water, hunger, and unhygienic living conditions. There is more than enough food produced in the world to feed everyone on the planet. Yet as many as 828 million of people still go hungry. I hope this information help you and me to be more conscious about the food and how we use it, because many people and mostly kids doesn't eat and die because of this reason.
Hello, today is April 28, 2023. My name is Fatima Alvarez. I am an English 3 student and my teacher is Jose Troches. Today I am going to talk about the hunger in Honduras. Honduras currently faces widespread poverty, with hunger and malnutrition, where 63% of the population lives below the national poverty line, and nearly 1 in 4 children in a state of chronic malnutrition. The World Food Programme, WFP, recently published a report that the main reason for migration of Hondurans is the inability of families to put food on the table. This is due to various reasons, including climate change and drought, which cause widespread destruction of crops. The WFP found that more than half of the households interviewed in its report spend more than 2/3 of their monthly income on food. The report also showed that the main use of remittances in Honduras is to buy food and later to pay for basic education and medicines. Therefore, remittances are essential for the food security of the families that remain in Honduras. Given the conditions in Honduras, hunger, malnutrition, food insecurity, and drought, ending Honduras TPS, temporary protected status, will put the 60,000 Honduras currently in the United States at high risk of increased hunger and poverty. It will also increase hunger among their families in Honduras, who currently depend on remittances to pay for food. Other factors that affect the hunger index in Honduras. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, tropical storms Eta and Iota brought heavy rains that devastated Honduras and further affected food security, aggravating an already deteriorating situation for Honduran households. The food insecurity situation has almost doubled in Honduras, from 1.8 million prior to the pandemic and hurricanes Eta and Iota to 3.3 million at the end of 2020, a figure that increased by almost 4.4 million at the end of 2021.
Good night, my name is Lamni Victorina Rodriguez. Now I talking about the food of Honduras. My student account number is 2022101299. Let's go. Traditional Honduran cuisine is strongly dominated by shellfish and corn, which is an autochthonous crop that is part of the food base of the pre-Hispanic peoples of Mesoamerica that inhabited the region. Typical Honduran food is based on seafood, meat, poultry, fish, tortillas, beans, rice, dairy products such as a local cheese and butter, vegetables or legumes, and fruits. The coffee is not lacking to accompany breakfast, dinner, or any time of the day. The gastronomy of Honduras has its roots in pre-Columbian cuisine, where different species of plants, animals, and fish were used. In turn, they were used as natural remedies or medicines. After the Spanish conquest, there was a fusion of cultures where in present day Honduras, the European gastronomy began to be known and Indo-European include fruits and vegetables of American origin in its diet. Among them, avocado, potato, pineapples stand out, and tobacco. The most common foods in these areas of Honduras, North Zone, for example, or the first is the baleada. Baleada is a typical dish from the northern coast of Honduras. On the northern coast of Honduras, there is Garifuna, Mosquito, and Creole food. Instead of corn tortillas or tortillas de maíz, they eat green bananas, cooked plantains, green or ripe, also machuca, crushed the green plantain with coconut and many other ingredients, and cassave. The corn flour was replaced by wheat flour, its most local preparation. One of the unfortunate results has been the exquisite food, which, according to popular belief, raises the dead. Is the garob consumed in the north red silks, beans, rice, and many vegetables, poultry, fish, shellfish, conch soup, and tapado are typical soup from Puerto Cortes, La Ceiba, and Trujillo. Due to its diversity on the north coast, it has been influenced by Palestinian, Caribbean, and Italian cuisine. The central zone and its the pupusa is Honduran origin. In the central east zone, you can eat a combination of food from the northern zone, such as fried fish or chicken, beef or pork, or combined with rice and salads or vegetables. Mondongo soups, beans, tapado or seafood, Although instead of preferring plantains or machuca, it's tortilla are eaten. You can also eat pupusas and food from the southern zone, such as seafood soup, chicken soup, donuts, tostacas, quesadillas de maíz, or corn quesadillas. It is also common the preparation of nacatamales or tamales de maíz, corn tamales, and montacas, among others. Nacatamales are one of the most consumed dishes in Honduras. And a typical exquisite dish made in Olancho is the tapado lanchano. This is characteristic of the area and considered the best in Honduras. The South Zone, the gastronomy in the Southern Zone is very varied, feeding roast and pupusas, a typical dish in Southern Honduras is the seafood soup made with fish, crab, and shrimp. A few years ago, the Levanta Muerto soup has created which it contains, in addition to everything that the seafood soup brings, turtle eggs, and jumbo shrimp. Another typical dish is the homemade chicken soup. That is so delicious. Also, beef are roasted on skewers of over the coals, among others. The Western zone, it's the atol chuco, mostly consumed in rural areas of the country. In the west of Honduras, a special and traditional dish is prepared the bucket or baked pig, an exclusive recipe of some families that be traditional having inherited in the city of Santa Rosa del Copan. In addition, there is a hard breed of or totoposte, atole de chuco, and pineapple atole.
Hello, my name is Edras Rodriguez. I'm going to talk about the history of shelters in Honduras. During the response and recovery phase after Hurricane Mitch, many national and foreign organizations intervened with activities and programs in favor of the shelters, ONGs like UNICEF, among others. An important actor in rehabilitation and reconstruction was the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, which through its national societies contributed to the reconstruction of a significant number of houses. The way in which the Red Cross movement was involved in recovery after Hurricane Mitch took different forms. For example, in Honduras, the government asked the National Red Cross Society to manage the temporary shelters, assuming that the rebuilding would be complete within a year. This was far from reality, given the scale and extent of the damage, weak systems in place at the national and local levels, and limited access to land. Rebuilding took a long time, and people stayed in these shelters longer than anticipated, an average of 3 to 4 years. This put the National Red Cross Society under pressure to manage the shelters for an unexpectedly long period of time. If not managed well, this could have easily damaged the public image of the National Society. Due to the fact that the people in the shelter were mostly from marginal urban settlements and had social problems that worsened in the shelters, the Honduran Red Cross did a very good job. But those years are still remembered by the National Society and the communities as the worst period of the recovery. In the wake of the devastating impact of Hurricane Mitch, thousands of people were forced to take refuge in schools or similar structures to provide temporary shelter, while government and interinstitutional efforts were made to find housing solutions. The Honduran government, in coordination with various agencies of the United Nations system, requests that IOM's experience in the construction of shelters serve as basis for solving the urgent need for protection and shelter for the people affected by the storm, and thus become involved in the construction of transitional housing communities. One objective was planned construction of family models to house approximately 5,000 families who would temporarily benefit from shelter, health services, and sanitation. These include the coordination, planning, and execution of actions with all the actors involved in the construction of transitional housing communities. This objective was mainly aimed at solving the housing problem of affected families and free the schools used as shelters to continue with the school period. This initiative, coordinated by the Presidential Reconstruction Cabinet, was supposed by a large number of governmental organizations, include SEDCO, FIS, NE, SANA, and INFOP, which has definite functions and roles. They were joined by the effort of several ministries. 10 years after Mitch, capacity building in the management of temporary shelters is moderated by COPECO. COPECO has trained the local and municipal emergency centers. For its part, the Honduran Red Cross, based on past experience, assumed an important region leadership role at the Red Cross level in the preparation of guide for community shelters, whose main focus is to involve the communities themselves in the management of shelters in the search for consensual solutions, together with the Honduran Red Cross, staff and volunteers from other organizations. Central American national societies contributed in the development of the guide and its use throughout the region. Although there is no regulation for shelters, thanks to Copeco initiatives, the Honduran Red Cross is requested to support training process in the area of shelters. At the central district level, schools for shelters has been identified and a plan for the management has been developed. Since the matrix of functions developed in conjunction with the members of the system has determined that the responsibility of further management lies within the municipal mayors, a pilot project sponsored by the Honduran American Chamber of Commerce is currently underway in the municipality of Choloma, Department of Cortes, where three schools have been equipped to be used as shelters. According to the minimum standards of the Sphere project, construction of bathrooms, toilets, and showers with the standard for a certain number of people. Based on the result of this project, a medium and long-term strategy is expected to be proposed. Thank you very much.